Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over how to quickly make a pivot table and just some of the basic functionality you'll have there with it. So first what we have here is we have a data set. It has the date, the open, high, low, and close for the S&P 500 going back through September 9th. So if you wanted to quickly put this into a table to be able to kind of maneuver through the data and quickly look for certain outliers, anything like that, a pivot table is probably going to be your best answer here. So to do this, what we'll go ahead and do is you go ahead, hit Insert, Pivot Table, and then it's going to ask for the range. You'll see it actually auto-selected it. I always like to just go back in and reselect the entire data range. And then you can either put it on a new worksheet or the existing worksheet. I always do a new worksheet. I just like it to be on a new tab so it doesn't take up room on my original data source. Go ahead and hit OK. And you'll see here's the pivot table. It doesn't really come with anything auto-populated in it, and it may be a little confusing at first, but it's really straightforward. So first thing you'll see here is row, or you'll see filters, column, row, and value, and then you'll see all these check marks here. So these will correlate back to your headers. So date, open, high, low, close. And what we'll go ahead and do here, let's say we throw the date in the row column, and you'll see September, October, November, December. And then say we wanted to just look at the open, you could throw that in the values. And it'll show you the sum of the open, and then you could expand that. You could go to each date, look at it. And what's cool is you can actually change a lot of these fields if you don't want this to be sum. You can actually come over here. You can click on the little arrow. You can hit value field settings, and you can choose count, average, max, min, product, all sorts of stuff in here. Really useful, really great tool, makes it super easy to kind of quickly go through a lot of this stuff. And then say you wanted to filter, if you wanted to add a filter on the close, say you only wanted to look at dates where it closed, you don't want to include, for whatever reason, anything in the 3200, you could filter those out. Obviously this is a little bit, this data set doesn't really need a filter, I would argue, on this, but if you had something, if you had a column that was like potential client, yes, no, you could drop that in the filter section and then filter out the no's. But if we did that, then you'll see it, removes a few of the dates here, narrows down your data set. Their pivot tables are really powerful, really good to use, and if you're doing a really quick analysis, can be super useful. For the columns, you could actually you can move months over into columns, and then you could see like September, October, November, December, and then you could have the date here. This data set doesn't really have much use for a column. That's more if you're kind of creating out a data table, something of that nature where you had both column headings and row headings. But on ours, it's really, we just have kind of the column headers. You can just drop that down into the rows and it quickly shows the data there. So yeah, I mean, this is the basics of pivot tables. They're super useful. There's a lot you can do with it. Definitely recommend just hopping in and playing around with them and seeing what you can kind of come up with and learn how to do. Another quick tip here is if, say you wanted to see the exact data here, you can actually double click on this and it'll open up a new worksheet and it'll show you that specific row and all the data associated with it. So really useful, great tool to use, great tool to learn. Can't recommend it enough. If you have any questions or comments or want to learn some more advanced features of pivot tables, feel free to leave it in the comments below and I'll make sure to get back to you. Thanks so much for watching.